people who left. I do think Mrs. Bell leaving and COVID, I think was what caused a lot of people to leave. I'm not gonna lie, singing with masks on sucked. I love singing, but
Well, I was told, I was never given numbers over the summer, but I was told that the choirs were going to be small, especially at the high school level. The choirs were going to be small. And when I walked in and I saw that there was, 9 kids in one choir and, 11 kids in another choir, I was in shock. But then I just took a deep breath and I said, all right, well, there's only one way to go from here.
Biggest struggles of having a small choir is that, there's not a lot of people in there, so the sound isn't really easily balanced between who's singing and just overall what part voices are singing as well.
During middle school, I did go to some of the high school choir shows and productions and programs, and it was never bad, but it just kind of lacked something. And like, you could say it lacked numbers, and it did, but like, also I think what Mr. Gearbrandt has done such a fabulous job of is he has built up the passion and love for the arts in Mount Vernon.
I think having a small choir meant that we couldn't do a lot of the more complex things that our choir can do now. Because now we're able to take complicated pieces to competition and everything, but we had 9 people in women's chorus who could barely do 2-part harmony, and 11 people chorale who could barely do 3-part. So I feel like our biggest issue wasn't our size, because there are small choirs who can perform really well, but it was our skill level.
The first goal was, let's make good music. Because if we make good music, other kids will hear that and want to be a part of it. The second goal was build rapport with students. The students that are in the class, because they're going to be the biggest recruiters, because they're going to tell people, hey, Mr. G doesn't suck, come join choir. And that's actually what brought the most kids in, is all the students that were there the first year saying, hey, choir doesn't suck, come join it, come have fun, we're going to make good music. So long-term goals were to get chorale ready for competition. That was a goal. Actually, it went faster than I thought. I thought that would be a 5-year goal, but here we are. In 2 years, I was like, okay, they're ready to go compete. And now I knew that first year was going to be a learning experience for all of us, me included.
One thing I loved going to competition, because I know I talked about building the community and choir, but it felt that right then, when the one was drawn on the board, we truly lived up to being a choir and a family, because they always say, like, oh, this class is a family, or this year we're going to have such a great family and community. But that doesn't always happen. I mean, sometimes you don't get along well with the people you're in class with, and sometimes that community sense is never there. But I think when we all unanimously got that one, it was like we all individually kind of got like a gold medal, and it was the choir getting the recognition we had wanted for so long.
I didn't expect us to go to state that first year. I wanted us to. The competitor in me still wanted to go to state, but I knew that that would be a long shot, right? But then the key is having that experience in your upperclassmen that, hey, we've been here, we know what to expect now we know what to do. And that played a key role in last year in getting us to state and then getting a 1 at state. So my long-term goal has gone a little bit faster than expected, but I'm loving it. I'm excited about it. So even looking into the future, I'm hoping this group can keep moving forward to a class A. Maybe class AA would be my ultimate goal for this group in the future. But we need to take baby steps and go there.
Last year we got a 1 at state, and that was one of our really big goals, especially for growing a choir, because taking what we had from freshman year, which was 9 ladies, to a about 40 people in one choir is just amazing.
I think Mr. Garrett brought a fresh new face and perspective to the choir that we really needed, because then we were able to take music to competitions, and we grew really, really fast. It's crazy that now there's 30, 40 people in chorale when we had 11 people in chorale my freshman year.
And middle school goals is just trying to maintain numbers. It's a little tricky down there because we offer high school credit for Spanish at the same time as choir. So that's that's the tricky part down there. But the more numbers I have and rapport I have with them, the more hopefully that'll come up. That's the biggest bump in the road, is trying to keep kids in middle school. Because if they quit in middle school, the chances of them coming back in high school are slim to none. I have 5 girls that left for Spanish after my first year here. They said, we'll come back freshman year. Well, they're now freshmen. 0 of those 5 girls came back. So the idea is to keep them in middle school so that way they'll transition to high school.
I think a lot of the problem was during 7th grade was that those classes that did provide you with a head of the game kind of style to the academic world, they lined up with the same period as choir. So I think a lot of kids chose academics over choir, and I understand that, because a lot of kids, it's just kind of a hard thing to fight, because so many people want to be ahead of the game when they get to high school.
And it's my goal every year. The goal is to create a family where we all get along. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to be best friends. But when we're making music, that's the important part. We have a common understanding. We're all here for the same thing. We want to be the best. I'm going to lean on you. You're going to lean on me. Let's do this together. And when you create that unit, then that love of music spreads out to others. And that's when you can start bringing in other people.
I love being in the classroom when we're all locked in, focused on a song. We're telling the story. The harmonies just click together. I love it personally. And
I love Mr. Garabrandt as a human being, because I love to see the figure he's become for me. I love how much he has always gone out of his way to support me and see me succeed.
For concert choir, my long-term goal is that really becomes the feeder program for chorale. So right now it's getting closer to that. It's not quite there yet, because we're still going to probably pull in some 8th graders directly into chorale for next year. But down the road, I'm hoping concert choir really becomes your goal from concert choir. For it's not going to be everybody, right? So there's going to be some kids in concert choir that they just want to sign up and sing, and that's cool. That's what it's there for. It's for them. But there are some kids, and it's starting to happen. They're already talking to me. How do I audition for chorale next year? As freshmen and sophomores that are in concert choir.
People who I talk to who have heard the choir are like, wow, Mount Vernon's choir is so good. I would not have heard that freshman year, even in middle school.
I would love chorale to be 40 and concert choir to be 100. So it'd be top 40 kids in chorale, and then concert choir would be 100 kids.
Mr. Garabrandt did so much recruiting and so much morale boosting. Now we're at a point where the program's so healthy, it's almost like we have too many sopranos or too many altos, which is a much better battle to face, opposed to having not enough where you can't make a proper sound.
I just want to, conclude with I'm loving it here at Mount Vernon. I think it was the right move for me at that point in my career, and I've grown as a teacher, which has been awesome. That first year of all right, we got to build this thing. It broke me down a little bit, and there were days where I'm like, why did I take this job? I had those days, but then I took a deep breath, and it made me a better teacher, which is awesome. And the support from the admin here has been awesome. So I definitely think this was the right move for me, and I love what I do, and I hope students see that, and I hope they feel passionate about choir too. So.
Personally, I found for me that when Mr. Garabrandt came to the middle school, because I had him in 7th grade and onward, but he is the one who really helped me build on my passion for music and want to go farther and become better.
Having those experiences of being locked into a song, feeling like there's a community around me, it was great. That was what I had to fall back on. That's what I still have to fall back on, honestly. So I love this choir. It has a very special place in my heart.